What's up, guys? Today we're picking the brain of chatgpt, the newest AI craze that I'm sure you've heard about. In case you haven't heard yet, chatgpt is the newest and hottest AI out there, and one of the fastest downloaded programs of all time. Its whimsical AI has dazzled millions of users already. Today, we test its knowledge on the top 10 rarest Nintendo 64 games of all time. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Tommy. So we're going to just hop right into this first by saying, what the hell is AI? So AI, artificial intelligence, right? Pretty much what it does is you type something in there and it answers questions and it gives you information and it's all text-based. So we went ahead and asked what the top 10 rarest North American Nintendo 64 games are. So we're just going to jump right into the top 10 rarest North American Nintendo 64 games based off of chatgpt. So number 10, we got StarCraft 64. I don't think that would be on my top 10 list, but what do you think?
StarCraft, yeah. I always thought that was like kind of mid to mid-high tier of price, right? It's not like super rare.
Yeah, I don't believe that that's a rare game. You could maybe say that it's uncommon. I think there's like 50 to 100 copies at any given moment on, eBay or Amazon.
Right. Do you know offhand like how much StarCraft is even worth these days?
Honestly, I think it's about 60 to 90 bucks these days.
Okay.
But don't quote me, guys.
Yeah, that probably would not make the top 10. But then, speaking of games that don't belong on here, number 9, Harvest Moon 64.
Bro, Harvest Moon, common. That game's not even uncommon. Like, honestly, you go on eBay, any given moment, how many copies of that are on here? Let's see.
So Harvest Moon belongs on here even less than StarCraft?
Oh, definitely. Harvest Moon, there's 70 copies on eBay of Harvest Moon.
I know that's expensive for the Super Nintendo, but it's funny to see it here.
Yeah, it's like a $65 game.
Well, I know I've heard of number 8 too, Mystical Ninja starring Goemon.
Yeah, I think it's Goemon.
Goemon? I terrible. I better look that up.
Goemon.
But anyway, so I mean, is that even a rare game?
Bro, there's 105 copies available for sale on eBay right now. Honestly, so far, number 10, number 9, and number 8, all three of those are relatively common games. If you want to say they're uncommon, but I think that's putting it, that's stretching it right there.
Yeah, I wonder what played into its AI to even make it think that. But number 7, this is another game that I know is like kind of not talked about as much, but it's like not like a hard or expensive game to get.
Well, yeah, believe it or not, number 7 is Aiden Chronicles, and what's crazy is there's actually only 48 copies available for sale, and we'll get to one of the gray variants here. Only 9 of those 48 are gray carts, so if it would have said gray variant, I'd have said that it could be believable that it's, could be one of the most uncommon games, but yeah, I think that's very doubtful.
Just so bizarre. Yeah, there's like 50 copies of a game that almost no one wants. I know the reviews on that are terrible, but not like that's what this is about. But number 6 is actually a rare game, Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut, so it's getting something right.
Yeah, so most people consider Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut the rarest released game, and ChatGPT went ahead and said, hey guys, we're just going to throw that shit at number 6.
Just one placement above Aiden Chronicles and a few above StarCraft.
Yeah, exactly. There's 25 copies of that for sale on eBay, guys, in case you're wondering.
Clay Fighter?
Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut. There's 25 available for sale right now.
Damn, that's actually a lot.
Yeah.
Dang. So, and then number 5, though, I know, speaking of the gray variants that are that much harder to find, Turok Rage Wars, that one's actually kind of rare, right?
Yeah, so Turok Rage Wars Gray is definitely the hardest gray cartridge to find. Besides one other, I think one of the WWE like wrestling games or whatever, it might be harder to find than that. But there is only 10 copies of Turok Rage Wars Gray for sale, and it looks like, wow, you wouldn't believe it, but that's like a $500 to $600 cartridge these days. That's insane.
Good God, I remember when it was like $100 to $200 like so many years ago, but I know things are changing. But Like, what, number 4 is just a head scratcher. Conker's Bad Fur Day, the uncensored version? Like, is this a thing? Like, what am I missing here?
Bro, I don't even know what the uncensored version is. I'm pretty sure that every Conker's Bad Fur Day for the N64 is uncensored.
I think it is too. Like, I'm just gonna double check this box art here, and yeah, this is like, I don't know. Again, ChatGPT just, I don't know where it's pulling this from, but Conker's Bad Fur Day is apparently more rare than Clay Fighters. But number 3 is kind of funny. Blockbuster World Video Game Championship 2. Isn't that like for the Sega Genesis?
Let's see. I'm actually looking it up. Hold on one second.
All right. It's like, what is a competition cartridge for the Sega Genesis doing on this list?
Yeah, I guess it's a Sega Genesis competition cartridge. I actually didn't even know about this one. Huh.
That's weird. You know, I remember it was always like hard to find, but you're like not as pursued as, you know, Nintendo World Championships or anything. But yeah, that's really bizarre to have on the list. At least number 2 is a Nintendo 64 game, and at least it's a rare one. So good job, ChatGPT, on a good placement here with Super Bowling. That's pretty darn expensive and rare, isn't it?
Yeah, Super Bowling is definitely, I would say it's top 5 uncommon, or I guess we're saying rare. So it's top 5 rarest Nintendo 64 games in my opinion. I just can't believe we haven't seen like Stunt Racer, some of the other, I mean, Stunt Racer specifically, I'd say that's top 3, you know?
Yeah, I remember I briefly had a copy of Stunt Racer and had a big old Blockbuster label over the front. I know like other games that are missing, but number 1 is a real, speaking of head scratchers and also hilarious, what was number 1 on the top 10 rarest Nintendo 64 list according to ChatGPT?
So I guess the number 1 rarest North American Nintendo 64 game, I guess it's Stadium Events, guys. I had no idea that came out for the Nintendo 64. I really didn't.
Yeah, but lucky for you, we have some exclusive picture here that we got at our local pawn shop. Super rare, what a steal, in a blue cart.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think they did a good job, that being one of the only blue cartridges that came out on the Nintendo 64. I mean, Stadium Events for the N64, it's the rarest game. I mean, it's undisputed, bro.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like it's written in folklore and all kinds of like urban legends of collecting. But all jokes aside, it's like a super rare NES game before it was rebranded as like track and field. So if you like to overpay like 10 grand for a track and field with a different name, then that's what Stadium Events is on the Nintendo Entertainment System. But it's like at least the AI knew it was listing rare games, but this is not even on the N64, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it does give us a little disclaimer at the end and say that it's not an exhaustive list and that there might be other difficult to find N64 games. And, you know, the rarity and value of them depend on factors such as popularity and collector demand.
The disclaimer should also say, by the way, I don't know if all 10 of these are actually Nintendo 64 games or if they're all actually rare, but
Bro, we got a Sega game and then we have an original Nintendo game. And not to mention the uncensored version of Conker's Bad Fur Day.
I think it's so funny that the top 3 is NES, N64, Genesis. Like,
yeah, so I'm going to say that this list is a solid 1.6 out of 10. But like for humor, it's 10 out of 10. This is a great list.
That is super funny. Well, hope you guys enjoyed watching this little thing about ChatGPT. What should we ask it next? Like, what other gaming libraries do you want to see it dive into? Any ideas from you, Tommy?
Yeah, man, I just want to ask it all these crazy questions. I mean, it seems to give me some pretty wild answers. I've asked it how many games came out for this system or how many copies of a game sold for that system, and it gives you, I mean, it's the software, the engineering, you know, it's a great application, and obviously it's just in like the beta testing phases, but it's pretty wild to me. You know, this is going to be a cool app to use over time.
Yeah, it is an extremely impressive program. There's no doubt about it. Like, you can ask it all kinds of comprehensive questions. It's a fun vid. Let us know what we should do next. And until next time, I'm Jeff, and that's Tommy. We'll see you next time.
And Jeff, where can we find you over on Instagram?
Oh yeah, I'm Marmax Gaming on Instagram and also on YouTube. You have the much bigger account, obviously, with Retro Game Trader.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram. Give us a follow, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'm Retro Game Trader on Instagram. Peace.
Awesome, guys. Well, we'll see you next time.